Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Prologue. What do you want most? Welcome to Think and Grow Rich, the timeless classic by Napoleon Hill. You're not just listening to a book. You're stepping into a philosophy. A philosophy born from the minds of the world's greatest achievers, and forged in the fires of perseverance, belief, and desire. This is not entertainment. This is not theory. This is a blueprint, a guide, for anyone seeking more from life. More success. More meaning. More money. More power. More peace of mind. Ask yourself right now, what do you want most? Is it wealth? Fame? Power? Happiness? Or perhaps peace? This book offers the shortest dependable philosophy of personal achievement ever assembled. It is a manual, created from the minds of more than 500 of America's most successful men, brought together through one unshakable truth. Thoughts are things. That's not just an idea. It's a law of success. And once you understand that, truly understand it, nothing in your life will remain the same. But be warned. You cannot absorb this book in a week, or even in a month. It must be studied, line by line, idea by idea. Marked, underlined, meditated upon. As Dr. Miller Reese Hutchison, renowned engineer and longtime associate of Thomas Edison, once said, "This is not a novel. It is a textbook on individual achievement. It should be studied, digested, and made one's own. No more than one chapter should be read in a single night. A real student will not merely read this book. He will absorb it and live it." So what do you want most? That's the question this journey begins with. And how far you'll go depends on your answer. As you move forward, remember, this is not just a philosophy for building riches. It's a way to unlock the wealth already inside you. So breathe deep. Stay focused. And open your mind. The secret you're searching for, the secret that built empires and forged fortunes, is waiting. Hit the subscribe button and let's begin. The author's preface. What you are about to hear contains a secret. A secret that has created more fortunes, more breakthroughs, more lasting success than perhaps any other idea in the modern world. A secret passed down, not with fanfare, but with quiet certainty, from Andrew Carnegie to a young Napoleon Hill. This book is the result of that moment, and of a promise kept for more than 25 years. Carnegie, the steel magnate, shared something with Hill. A magic formula that had brought him a vast fortune. And he challenged Hill to dedicate his life to sharing it with the world. The young man accepted. What followed was a decades-long mission to distill the wisdom of over 500 of America's most successful people. Industrialists, inventors, entrepreneurs, statesmen, teachers, dreamers, achievers. Their stories, habits, patterns, analyzed, dissected, and compiled into a single, powerful philosophy. That success of every kind begins in the mind. This isn't theory. It's experience. Tested, proven, and passed on. By the time you finish this book, you'll have heard the same secret dozens of times. But it will never be named outright. Because it's not meant to be given, it's meant to be discovered. You'll find it between the lines. In the stories. In the strategies. In the spark that ignites when you are ready for it. The secret cannot be given away. It cannot be bought. It cannot be explained to those who are not seeking it. But once it's yours, you'll never see the world the same way again. It worked for a tailor whose business was dying, who turned his failure into a national success. It worked for a clergyman who went from modest means to earning over $75,000 a year in the 1930s. It worked for a young congressman who, fueled by this secret, rose to national leadership. It even worked for Hill's own son, born without hearing, who used this very philosophy to break every limitation placed upon him. This book, Think and Grow Rich, has changed lives. But the real power doesn't lie in the pages. It lies in the action those pages inspire. In the transformation they provoke, if you're truly ready. This is a book to be studied, not skimmed. To be absorbed, not merely understood. It has already been tested by thousands. In every industry. At every level. By men and women who decided to bet on one truth. That all riches, all success, all progress begins with an idea. That idea could come to you today. Right now. As you listen. Chapter 1, Introduction, Thoughts Are Things. Let us begin, with a truth so profound yet so often ignored. Thoughts are things. Not metaphorically. Not poetically. But literally. When backed by faith, emotion, and burning desire, thoughts shape reality. No one illustrates this more powerfully than a man named Edwin C. Barnes. He was not wealthy. He had no influential friends. No formal education to boast of. But he had a vision. A single, obsessive thought. I will work with Thomas Edison. Not for him, with him. He didn't know how, yet. But his mind was made up. He scraped together what little he could, and boarded a freight train, a blind baggage, bound for Orange, New Jersey. There, ragged and determined, he stood at Edison's door and said, "I've come to go into business with you." Years later, Edison would recall that meeting. He looked like an ordinary tramp. But there was something in his eyes, a look of determination, that said he would not leave without getting what he came for. Edison didn't hire him as a partner, of course. He gave him a menial job in the offices. But Barnes didn't waver. Because while the world saw a hired hand, he saw himself as a partner in waiting. And that mindset changed everything. Time passed. Then one day, Edison developed a new machine, the dictating device, and none of his salesmen believed in it. They lacked the vision to sell it. But Barnes? He saw gold. He said, "I can sell it." And he did, brilliantly. So much so that Edison gave him the exclusive distribution rights. And the slogan read, "Made by Edison. Installed by Barnes." From nothing, Barnes had thought his way into a fortune. Because his desire was not a wish, it was an obsession. But what happens when desire fades? When we quit too soon? Let me tell you about R.U. Darby's uncle, and the lesson of 3 feet from gold. During the gold rush, Darby's uncle staked a claim in Colorado. He found a promising vein of gold and invested everything in mining equipment. He brought his nephew along and began digging. At first, the results were promising. They struck gold, real gold. But just as quickly, the vein vanished. They drilled, searched, dug deeper. But nothing. Eventually, they gave up. They sold the machinery to a local junk man, and left in defeat. But the junk man wasn't so quick to quit. He called in an expert, a mining engineer, who studied the site. His conclusion? The gold vein hadn't disappeared, it had just shifted slightly. The Darbys had quit, 3 feet from the jackpot. The junk man picked up where they left off, and made millions. Darby never forgot that lesson. Later, in the life insurance business, when customers told him, no, he remembered the mine. "I stopped 3 feet from gold once," he said. "But I'll never stop again because someone tells me no." And he didn't. Darby went on to become one of the most successful life insurance agents in the nation. Another story. Simpler, but no less profound. Chapter 2, Desire, the starting point of all achievement. Every achievement, every fortune, every legacy, begins not with action, but with a desire. Not a hope. Not a wish. But a deep, burning obsession to possess something definite. Let us be clear. Desire is the starting point of all riches. And those who achieve greatness do not merely want success, they are consumed by it. Let me tell you a story, deeply personal to the author, Napoleon Hill. It's the story of his own son, Blair, born without ears. The doctors said he would never hear, never speak. But Hill refused to accept this. He believed, with every fiber of his being, that desire would find a way. Hill did not let Blair learn sign language. He insisted his son would one day hear and speak. He visualized it. He believed it. And he planted that same belief in the boy himself. Years passed. Then one day, Blair found a hearing aid that worked for him, not perfectly, but enough. He could hear his teacher's voice for the first time. Later, Blair would go on to become an inspiration to thousands of hearing-impaired people, helping sell the very device that had helped him, and proving that his father's desire had outwitted nature. Hill writes, "Nature could not sell him. She threw her hand in defeat. That is the power of desire." Now, let's move from story to strategy. Here are 6 definite, practical steps by which any person can transmute desire into gold. Fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. Not vague. Not general. Be specific. Determine exactly what you intend to give in return. There is no such thing as something for nothing. Establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money. A goal without a deadline is only a wish. Create a definite plan and begin at once, whether you are ready or not, to put this plan into action. Write out a clear, concise statement of the amount, the time limit, what you intend to give, and the plan through which to accumulate it. Read your written statement aloud twice daily, once before bed, once upon waking. As you read, see it, feel it, believe it. This is the formula. Simple, but not easy. Because it demands more than repetition, it demands faith. We'll return to that in the next chapter. But before we close, let's speak again of desire's resilience. Hill reminds us that desire outreaches Mother Nature, not with defiance, but with persistence. He tells of countless people who have turned handicaps into triumphs, defeats into careers, obstacles into purpose. Desire, when it is burning, unshakable, and emotionalized with belief, will always find a way. It does not wait for permission. It bends reality to match its intensity. So, ask yourself, what is your burning desire? What will you give in return? And how long are you willing to persist? Because the path to riches begins with a thought, but is powered by desire. Chapter 3: Faith, Visualization and Belief in the Attainment of Desire. If desire is the starting point of all achievement, then faith is the substance that gives it life. It is the catalyst that transforms hope into belief, and belief into reality. Faith is the head chemist of the mind. It is the emotion that, when mixed with thought, activates the subconscious mind and turns those thoughts into tangible results. Faith is not something you either have or don't have. It is a state of mind that can be cultivated through autosuggestion, repetition, and emotion. You can build faith by feeding your mind with belief every single day. Here's how it works. Your subconscious mind accepts any thought, any belief, any idea that is repeated often, especially if it is emotionalized with feeling. If you tell yourself you're unworthy, weak, incapable, your mind will make it true. But if you repeat, with conviction, "I am powerful. I am determined. I am achieving my goals," then over time, your mind will reshape itself, and reality will bend accordingly. Hill calls this process autosuggestion, and it is the medium through which belief becomes faith, and faith becomes results. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has used this power, whether they realized it or not. And every failure, every defeated soul, likewise believed in something, just the wrong thing. Here is what Hill urges us to do. Write down your definite purpose, your goal. Read it aloud every morning and every night. As you read, see yourself already in possession of that goal. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the certainty. Do not merely speak the words. Let them ignite your soul. Because faith is more than belief. It is emotionalized belief. It is belief that has been burned into the subconscious so deeply that no doubt, no fear, no failure can touch it. Think of it this way. Desire plants the seed. But faith is the sunlight, the warmth that causes it to grow. Without faith, desire withers. But with it, it becomes unstoppable. And now, a reminder that has echoed throughout time. Whatsoever the mind can conceive, and believe, it can achieve. You don't have to know how. You only need to believe that it's possible. And act, every day, as if it is already on its way. So build your faith. Strengthen your belief. And emotionalize your desires until they consume you. For this is the second step toward riches. Chapter 4, Autosuggestion, the medium for influencing the subconscious mind. You now know that desire is the spark, and faith is the fuel. But how do we turn them into action, consistent, focused, powerful action? The answer lies in the subconscious mind. And the bridge to the subconscious is a quiet, but mighty force known as autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is the method by which you feed your subconscious mind with thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, intentionally. It is self-suggestion. It is how you plant seeds in the fertile soil of the subconscious, where every action originates. Understand this. You are already using autosuggestion every day. The question is, are you using it consciously? Every time you say, I can't. Every time you think, I'm not good enough. Every time you feel fear or doubt or failure. You are using autosuggestion to program your mind to accept defeat. But what if you reversed it? What if, instead, you filled your mind with desire, belief, and determination? What if your thoughts sounded like this? I am a success in the making. I am calm, focused, and determined. I am creating wealth and opportunity with every action. Hill gives us clear instructions on how to use this power. Go to a quiet place, morning and night, and close your eyes. Repeat your written statement of your definite goal aloud. As you say it, see yourself already in possession of that goal. Feel the emotion. Live in the belief. Place a copy of your statement where you'll see it often, by your bed, your mirror, your desk. Read it constantly, aloud and silently. Believe every word. If you don't believe it yet, fake it. The repetition will take root. Why is this important? Because your subconscious cannot distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply acts on the emotion attached to repeated thoughts. If you repeat fear, you become fearful. If you repeat strength, you become strong. What you repeat, you become. Hill warns us that mere reading, or saying words, will achieve nothing. They must be emotionalized. They must burn in your mind and heart until belief is born. So if your desire is real, if your faith is forming, then autosuggestion is the lever that will move your subconscious into motion. Through repetition. Through emotion. Through belief. You are molding your inner world, and by extension your outer one. Autosuggestion is the gateway. Use it wisely. Use it daily. Use it deliberately. This is the third step toward riches. Chapter 5. Specialized knowledge, personal experiences or observations. Knowledge is not power. Not on its own. Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when it is organized into a definite plan of action and directed toward a definite purpose. There are two kinds of knowledge. General. Specialized. General knowledge, the kind stored in libraries, or memorized in schools, is of little practical use in the pursuit of riches. You can know history, literature, science, and still struggle financially. A university professor may have encyclopedic knowledge, yet earn a modest salary. But the person who gathers specialized knowledge, applies it with purpose, and turns it toward the achievement of a specific goal, that person becomes unstoppable. This is what Napoleon Hill teaches us. Successful men, in all callings, never stop acquiring specialized knowledge related to their major purpose, business, or profession. You don't need to know everything. You need to know what's relevant, and how to acquire what you don't know. You may acquire specialized knowledge in many ways. Through personal experience. Through formal education. Through mentorship and apprenticeship. Through books, podcasts, and courses. Through collaboration with others who do know. The most successful people in the world are lifelong students. They do not rely on the knowledge they had yesterday. They grow. They adapt. They learn with purpose. Hill reminds us that the man who stops studying simply because he finishes school is finished. But the man who commits to continuous growth rises without limits. If you feel underqualified, good. Because the secret is not having all the knowledge yourself. It's knowing where to find it, and how to use it. Many of the wealthiest individuals succeeded not because they knew everything, but because they assembled teams, built alliances, hired experts, and leveraged the collective mind. So ask yourself, what knowledge do you need to achieve your definite purpose? Where can you find it? Who can teach you? What will you commit to learning, starting today? Specialized knowledge is a tool. When directed toward desire, activated by faith, and reinforced by autosuggestion, it becomes a weapon for achievement. This is the fourth step toward riches. Chapter 6: Imagination, the workshop of the mind. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. But before belief, before action, before wealth, there must be an idea. And every idea is born in the same sacred space. The imagination, the workshop of the mind. Imagination is the engine of innovation. It is the unseen force that assembles thought into form, that transforms desire into plan. Hill tells us there are two types of imagination. Synthetic imagination, the ability to arrange known concepts, facts, or ideas into new combinations. Used most often by inventors, marketers, entrepreneurs, people who work with existing material in new ways. Creative imagination, the realm of inspiration, the source of original ideas that seem to come from nowhere. It is accessed through the subconscious mind, often when emotion, faith, or deep desire are stirred. Every breakthrough begins in the mind. In the quiet hours, in the spark of a what if. In the dream we dare to give form. Edison imagined the electric light. Ford imagined a car the average man could afford. Carnegie imagined a business empire built on steel. These men used imagination, not casually, but deliberately. So how can you do the same? Start by fixing your definite desire clearly in your mind. Then allow your imagination to work, asking questions, seeking ideas, combining resources. When you do this daily, through writing, reflection, or even daydreaming with intent, you awaken a creative power that responds to demand. Hill writes, your imaginative faculty may have become weak through inaction. It can be revived and developed through use. And here's the key. Ideas are worthless, unless acted upon. Imagination provides the plan, but you must bring it to life. You need not wait to feel inspired. Begin now, with what you know. And trust that your imagination will grow stronger the more you use it. So dream, yes. But dream with a pen in hand. With a mind open to ideas, and a heart committed to action. Because this is how riches are born, in the workshop of the mind. Chapter 7: Organized Planning, the crystallization of desire into action. Desire is nothing without direction. Faith is powerless without form. Imagination remains potential, until it becomes a plan. And that plan, when backed by action, becomes wealth. This is the sixth step toward riches. Organized planning, the crystallization of desire into action. Hill tells us, to reach your goal, you must form a practical plan, and begin at once, even if you feel unprepared. Plan your work. Work your plan. You may fail, and you likely will, at first. But failure only means the plan needs adjustment, not that the desire should be abandoned. The 4 key actions for effective planning. Ally yourself with a mastermind group, people who support and contribute to your purpose. Decide what you can offer them in return. Cooperation must be mutual. Meet with this group regularly, in harmony and confidence. Maintain perfect faith and persistence. Never accept defeat as final. No one rises alone. Every great achiever, Carnegie, Edison, Ford, surrounded themselves with minds that sharpen their own. This is the power of the mastermind. A mastermind group is more than a team. It is a harmonious alliance, where shared energy becomes multiplied power. No 2 minds ever come together without creating a third, invisible, intangible force, which may be likened to a third mind. Now let's speak plainly about leadership. To convert your plan into riches, you may need to lead yourself or others. Hill lists the 11 major attributes of leadership, qualities shared by every effective leader. 1. Unwavering courage. 2. Self-control. 3. A keen sense of justice. 4. Definiteness of decision. 5. Definiteness of plans. 6. The habit of doing more than paid for. 7. A pleasing personality. 8. Sympathy and understanding. 9. Mastery of detail. 10. Willingness to assume full responsibility. 11. Cooperation. Leadership is not about authority. It's about service, influence, and integrity. Those who cannot lead will be led. Those who refuse responsibility will never command reward. But what if your plan fails? Good. You're not alone. Hill writes about men who built fortunes after failing multiple times. The key was not their luck, it was their refusal to let failure be final. They adjusted their plans and persisted. So here is Hill's challenge to you. Craft a plan. Build your mastermind. Begin immediately. Stay adaptable. Because riches do not respond to vague ideas. They respond to organized, persistent action. This chapter reminds us that success is not a secret, it is a system. A well-planned idea, powered by definite purpose, becomes the path to wealth. This is the 6th step toward riches. Chapter 8, Decision, the Mastery of Procrastination. Hill's research revealed something startling. Successful people make decisions quickly, and change them slowly, if at all. Unsuccessful people? They make decisions slowly, and change them often, sometimes constantly. This is the 7th step toward riches. The mastery of procrastination. Procrastination is the silent assassin of achievement. It disguises itself as caution, hesitation, waiting for the right moment. But it is fear. Fear dressed in logic. Fear disguised as delay. Hill tells us plainly. Procrastination, the opposite of decision, is a common enemy which practically every man must conquer. If you want riches, in any form, you must become a decisive person. And that means this. You know what you want. You act on your plans. You do not waver at every opinion. Opinions, especially the unsolicited kind, are cheap. And the world is filled with people who will gladly tell you why your dream won't work. Hill warns, close your ears if you want to achieve. Tell the world what you intend to do, but do it first. The majority of people allow friends, family, and public opinion to rob them of their desires. They are influenced by ridicule, by skepticism, by fear of disapproval. But the men and women who build fortunes, they do not ask for permission. They are firm in purpose, quick to act, and faithful to their vision. This is not arrogance. It is clarity. Let this be your turning point. From this day forward, make decisions swiftly. Trust your inner voice. Filter out the noise. Because indecision invites fear. And decision is its antidote. So ask yourself, what decision have you been postponing? What have you delayed out of fear? What clarity have you been denying yourself? You already know what to do. Now decide to do it. This is the 7th step toward riches. Chapter 9, Persistence. The sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Persistence is the sustained effort necessary to induce faith, and transform desire into its physical equivalent. Hill tells us, willpower and desire, when properly combined, make an irresistible pair. This is the 8th step toward riches. Many people begin with enthusiasm. They make plans, set goals, dream big. But when faced with setbacks, delays, or resistance, they retreat. The truth is, the hidden weakness in most people is lack of persistence. But the good news? Persistence can be cultivated. And it must be. 4 simple steps to build persistence. A definite purpose backed by burning desire. You must want your goal more than you want comfort or approval. A definite plan, expressed in continuous action. No stalling. No waiting. Begin now, and adjust as needed. A mind closed to all negative and discouraging influences. Guard your thoughts. Reject doubt. Ignore fear-based advice. A friendly alliance with one or more persons who will encourage you to follow through with your plan and purpose. These steps form a bulletproof mindset. One that doesn't flinch when the world pushes back. Hill reminds us that persistence is the power of will in motion. It is faith in action. It is belief that does not crumble when the door is slammed shut. And what is the greatest enemy of persistence? Two forces: fear and doubt. These are the silent thieves that whisper, "What if it doesn't work?" They sneak in when you're tired, discouraged, uncertain. And if you listen to them, they'll rob you of everything. But when you persist, even when afraid, something powerful happens. Faith strengthens. Doubt shrinks. Momentum builds. Life responds. So when the road gets rough, when success seems distant, when everyone else gives up, persist. Because persistence is the difference between those who dream and those who live their dream. Chapter 10: The Power of the Master Mind. No one succeeds alone. Behind every great fortune, every empire, every innovation, you will find a team of minds united in purpose. This is the 9th step toward riches. The power of the master mind. Hill defines a mastermind as the coordination of knowledge and effort, in a spirit of harmony, between two or more people, for the attainment of a definite purpose. Let's break that down. A mastermind is not just a team. It is creative cooperation. It is shared intelligence. It is amplified power. When two or more people align, in full harmony, their individual minds form a third mind, an invisible, intangible force greater than the sum of its parts. Hill likens it to a battery of power. When multiple minds come together with clarity and faith, they generate energy, mental and spiritual, that cannot be created alone. This is how millionaires build networks. How companies disrupt industries. How revolutions of thought and society begin. It's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being in the right room, with the right people, and the right purpose. But harmony is essential. Without it, the energy turns to conflict. With it, the energy becomes creative genius. Hill tells us there are two types of economic power: the power of capital, money; the power of a mastermind, organized knowledge, focused intention, and aligned will. And of the two, the second is the source of the first. So ask yourself, who are the people you align with? Do they share your vision? Do they challenge you, inspire you, support your goals? Build your mastermind with care. Choose with wisdom. And commit to the harmony that unlocks power. Because this is the 9th step toward riches. Chapter 11: The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. There is no force more powerful than sexual energy. But it is often misunderstood, and too rarely mastered. Napoleon Hill calls it one of the most mysterious and potent forces in human nature. And when properly harnessed, it becomes the 10th step toward riches. Sex desire is the most powerful of human drives. It motivates. It energizes. It creates. But most people allow this energy to express itself only physically. What if, instead, it could be redirected? What if it could be transmuted into ambition, creativity, genius? Sex transmutation, Hill writes, means switching the mind from thoughts of physical expression to thoughts of some other nature, such as business, art, or invention. This is not suppression. It is redirection. It is taking raw passion and channeling it upward, into creation, not just procreation. History is filled with great men who were known for their highly developed sexual nature, and yet who converted that energy into great works. Napoleon, Lincoln, Edison, Shakespeare, Carnegie, Ford. Each of them had an intense drive, but they directed it toward their purpose. This energy, when combined with love, romance, and spiritual connection, becomes even more powerful. It lifts the soul. It sharpens the mind. It awakens the subconscious to new levels of possibility. Hill warns, the men who truly succeed are often those who learn to harness, not waste, their sexual nature. When this desire is refined, it becomes a fountain of stamina, creativity, and leadership. And so, we arrive at a truth rarely spoken in books about success. Passion fuels achievement. When properly directed, it becomes life force. It becomes the fire beneath your vision. You don't need to extinguish your desire. You need to elevate it. Let it power your goals. Let it drive your genius. Let it lift you beyond limitation. This is the art of sex transmutation. And it is the 10th step toward riches. Chapter 12: The Subconscious Mind. There is a part of your mind that never sleeps, never rests, never stops working. It is constantly recording, interpreting, reacting. And it governs almost every outcome in your life. That part is the subconscious mind. This is the 11th step toward riches, learning to influence the subconscious mind. Hill calls it the connecting link between the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and infinite intelligence. You cannot control your subconscious directly, but you can feed it. You can shape it through thought, repetition, and emotion. The subconscious mind responds most powerfully to emotions, especially those that are repeated often. Faith, love, sex, desire, enthusiasm, hope, fear. The strongest of these, Hill says, is faith, and fear, its greatest enemy. If you want your desire to take root, if you want your plan to grow and bear fruit, then you must saturate your subconscious with belief. Feed it daily with thoughts of success. Affirm your definite purpose with emotion. Visualize your goals as already achieved, and feel them. Because your subconscious will accept any thought you emotionalize. If you feed it doubt, it will manifest delay. If you feed it fear, it will return failure. But if you feed it desire, faith, and persistence, it will begin to move heaven and earth in your favor. You are shaping your destiny, not with effort alone, but with emotion-fueled thought. Your subconscious is always listening. Make sure it's hearing the right message. This is the 11th step toward riches. Chapter 13: The Brain, a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. You've heard the phrase, "You are what you think." But what if thought wasn't confined to your own mind? What if your thoughts were being broadcast and received by others? In this chapter, Hill tells us, every human brain is both a broadcasting and receiving station for the vibration of thought. This is the 12th step toward riches, understanding the brain not just as a tool for thinking, but as a channel for universal intelligence. The brain vibrates. It emits energy. And when thoughts are infused with emotion, especially faith, love, and sexual energy, they vibrate at higher frequencies. These vibrations can reach other minds. And more importantly, they can attract ideas, people, and resources aligned with your dominant thoughts. You've felt it before, the sudden idea, the intuition, the sense that inspiration came from somewhere beyond yourself. That's not an accident. It's transmission. You are connected, right now, to something bigger than your brain. A greater intelligence that responds to what you think, feel, and believe. This is why Hill urges you to emotionalize your thoughts. To think with purpose. To align your brain with your goal. Because when your thoughts are clear, charged, and repeated, they begin to broadcast on a higher level. And what you send out, eventually comes back. So what are you broadcasting? Is your mind sending out hope, or fear? Certainty, or doubt? Your brain is more than a thinking machine. It is a transmitter of destiny. Use it. Direct it. Tune it to the frequency of riches. This is the 12th step toward riches. Chapter 14: The Sixth Sense, the Door to the Temple of Wisdom. There is a power beyond reason. A whisper in moments of silence. A flash of truth when no facts exist. Napoleon Hill calls it the sixth sense. This is the final step, the 13th step toward riches. It cannot be understood until the other 12 steps are practiced, integrated, lived. Only then does this faculty begin to awaken. The sixth sense is not magic. It is intuition, a sudden hunch, a guiding feeling, an unexplainable knowing. Hill describes it as that portion of the subconscious mind which has been referred to as the creative imagination. It serves as a guardian, a quiet advisor, a final filter through which all decisions, ideas, and impulses may pass. Hill recounts moments in his own life when danger was avoided, or great opportunities revealed, not through logic, but through this inner voice. He refers to it as the door to the temple of wisdom. And like any door, it remains closed until you are ready to walk through it. To develop the sixth sense, Hill says, you must master the first 12 principles. Stay attuned to your inner world. Remain open to guidance beyond thought. This power, whatever you call it, exists within you. It is the completion of the riches formula. When desire has been defined, faith has been forged, action taken, plans refined, persistence practiced, the sixth sense becomes your silent partner. So listen closely, not just to the world around you, but to the wisdom rising from within. You may not always understand it, but if you trust it, it will never lead you astray. This is the 13th step toward riches. Chapter 15: How to Outwit the 6 Ghosts of Fear. You've come far. You've learned the power of thought, of desire, of faith, persistence, planning, and belief. But now, at the gate of riches, stands the final enemy. An invisible enemy. Its name is fear. Fear is subtle. It creeps in silently. It paralyzes plans. It poisons desire. It silences faith. And unless it is mastered, all else is lost. Hill identifies 6 basic fears. The fear of poverty. The fear of criticism. The fear of ill health. The fear of loss of love. The fear of old age. The fear of death. Fear of poverty keeps people trapped in scarcity. It kills initiative and breeds dependence. Fear of criticism prevents bold action. We shrink ourselves to please others, and betray our dreams in the process. Fear of ill health creates worry, which often leads to physical symptoms, and then worse. Fear of loss of love causes jealousy, suspicion, and anxiety. It corrupts relationships. Fear of old age makes people cling to youth instead of embracing wisdom. Fear of death robs the joy of life, before it's even over. These fears are like ghosts, unseen, but powerful. And they thrive when you're not paying attention. So how do we defeat them? We begin with awareness. Hill offers a series of self-analysis questions, designed to expose fear's hiding places. Do you make excuses for inaction? Are you overly influenced by the opinions of others? Do you frequently worry about money, health, or rejection? Do you hesitate when bold action is required? Do you allow others to control your mood, thoughts, or confidence? Honest answers reveal where fear is at work. And once exposed, fear begins to lose its power. Hill reminds us, fear is just a state of mind. And a state of mind can be controlled. How? Through habit. Through mental discipline. By feeding the subconscious with faith. By practicing gratitude. By rejecting doubt. And by surrounding yourself with strength, not sympathy. Fear cannot survive where belief lives. It cannot coexist with persistence, purpose, and action. If you are to rise, to truly think and grow rich, you must become the master of your mind. You must choose thought over reaction. Desire over doubt. Action over fear. You now have the tools. The knowledge. The map. But this book will only serve those who act upon it. You are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. Now go forward. And grow rich. Not just in money, but in life. Final reflections. You have now completed Think and Grow Rich, a journey through thought, desire, faith, imagination, and discipline. But let us pause and reflect on what this journey truly means. You've learned that thoughts are things, powerful, living forces. That desire, when backed by faith and action, becomes unstoppable. That persistence, more than talent or luck, is the fuel that keeps the fire alive. And that organized planning backed by belief is what transforms dreams into reality. This book is not just about money. It is about mastery of the mind, the will, and the spirit. You now know that success begins with a single decision: to take control of your thoughts, to guard the door to your mind, to reject fear, doubt, and delay. You have a choice right now to apply what you've learned or let it fade. But remember this: you are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. No one can think for you. No one can act for you. No one can claim your dream, except you. So, what now? Write down your definite purpose. Read your statement daily. Take bold action. Surround yourself with belief. Persist, no matter what. Because the person who finishes this book and acts on it will never be the same again. If you found this audiobook valuable, share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe to our channel for more timeless wisdom, powerful audiobooks, and life-changing ideas. Because the journey doesn't end here. It's only just begun. Thank you for listening to Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now go and build the life you were meant to live.